The movie opens in the year 2142, where humans have established settlements in other planets. One of the planets, known as LV-410, is ruled by a private company named Weyland-Yutani. The company also employs most of the people of that planet and is also engaged actively in space research. One day, a Weyland-Yutani probe recovers a large cocoon from the wreckage of the spaceship named Nostromo, a spacecraft formerly owned by the company. The spacecraft faced an accident after encountering an alien life form in outer space. The dormant alien is then extracted from the cocoon and taken in for further study. The scene then cuts to a few months later. At the rundown Jackson Star colony on the LV-410, an orphan colonist named Rain is seen with her synthetic robot brother named Andy. Her parents died 3 years ago due to lung disease from the mines. LV-410 has a perennial weather system and is surrounded by ice rings in space. Rain tries to apply for her travel pass as she has completed her work-hour quota and now wants to go to Ivaga 3, where the life conditions are much better. But to her shock discovers that Weyland-Yutani has forcibly extended her work contract. Rain is a farmer, but due to a shortage of workers, she is transferred to the mines without her consent. Quota was increased from 12,000 to 24,000 hours, which means that she will be free in another 6 years. Determined to escape, she teams up with her adopted brother Andy, her ex-boyfriend Tyler, his pregnant sister Kay, their cousin Bjorn, and Bjorn's adopted sister Navarro. The group needs Andy to break into a wrecked space station named Renaissance orbiting nearby. Andy is a Weyland-Yutani synthetic, and as such he speaks the source language, and he can get them in and out of the ship quickly. Their plan is to steal some cryopods located inside the space station and then reach Ivaga 3. The journey will take 9 years, and hence they would need to be in autopilot while in cryosleep. Rain is shocked to hear that they are going to steal from Weyland-Yutani's ship, but after some persuasion from Tyler, she agrees to go ahead with the plan. The group commandeers their ship, known as the Hauler Corbelan 4, to reach Renaissance. A seemingly abandoned Weyland-Yutani station split into the modules Romulus and Remus. As the hauler reaches space, the crew is able to see the sun for the first time. They also find that the station is too big to be a ship and seems to be an outpost that got dragged into LV-410's orbit. In 36 hours, the station will crash into LV-410's rings, which means that they have to steal the cryopods within 36 hours and be back in their hauler. With Andy's help, Tyler and Bjorn cross over into the station to retrieve the pods and find that the gravity inside the station had been deactivated. Using Andy's programming interface, they restore energy, gravity, and oxygen to the station, and Kay, Rain, and Navarro keep an eye on everything while being inside the hauler. The men soon find the pods, but to add to their problems, Tyler discovers that the pods only have 3 years' worth of cryostasis fuel. Rain requests him to get back to the hauler and abandon their escape plan, but Tyler is adamant in going through with it. Hence, in order to bring their plan to fruition, they decide to look deeper into the station for more fuel. During their search, Bjorn taunts Andy with the fact that Ivaga 3 does not allow androids, meaning he will have to remain behind, leaving Rain guilt-ridden. Tyler tells Andy that he is needed to guard the pods during their 9-year trip, and Andy is still okay with it, and says that whatever is best for Rain is best for him as well. This shows us that his main objective is to protect Rain at all costs. Navarro, on the other hand, parks the hauler in the cargo bay of the station, and the girls joins the trio to check on the pods. They enter a lab which was still active. They find weapons and a big hole in the floor, along with a synthetic whose skin was melted away in patches, and we learn that he is the station's science officer, Rook. Tyler and Bjorn attempt to retrieve cryostasis fuel from the cryogenic chamber, but unintentionally trigger a lockdown. The lockdown results in shutting down of the cooling systems, and this releases dozens of facehugger parasites. Andy cannot open the cryogenic chamber doors as he does not have clearance, and only the science officer has the authority. In desperation, Rain decides to upgrade Andy's security access with a control chip from Android Rook. There was a small gap in the cryogenic chamber doors allowing Rain to pass Tyler the chip, which he then installs into Andy. However, this reprogramming shifts Andy's loyalty from Rain to Weyland-Yutani. Andy leads the group to safety, but not before a facehugger forcibly attaches itself to Navarro's face. Andy says that facehugger is feeding oxygen to Navarro but cannot understand why. He also adds that if the facehugger is removed, it would kill Navarro. When asked how to save Navarro, Andy admits that he still doesn't know what the facehugger is and points to the science officer for more answers. In order to save her friend, Rain reactivates Rook, who tells the hauler crew to leave the station and kill Navarro while they still can. Rook adds that a xenomorph will grow out of Navarro pretty soon. He also reveals that the alien was first discovered by the crew of the spaceship Nostromo, and the xenomorph had killed most of the Nostromo's crew. Out of 7 crew members, only one survived, who blew the xenomorph out of the airlock. The alien monster was found by Weyland-Yutani 170 days later inside a cocoon, which we saw in the beginning of the movie. Post that, the Renaissance scientists experimented on the alien, reverse bioengineering the facehuggers. However, the xenomorph escaped and massacred most of the crew. Those remaining died when the xenomorph was killed, as its acidic blood melted through Remus's hull, causing explosive decompression. While trying to help Navarro, Bjorn uses a cryogenic fluid to freeze the facehugger's tail and to remove it from Navarro's face. Navarro regains consciousness, and Bjorn decides her to take her back to the Corbelan hauler and attempts to flee with Navarro and Kay. Rook warns Andy that humans go through many emotional stages before accepting the cold, harsh path, and incites him to stop the rest from onboarding Navarro into the hauler. Andy attempts to stop Bjorn and Navarro, but they manage to seal themselves inside the Corbelan, with Kay still inside. After a few seconds, Navarro starts feeling sick and using X-rays. She discovers that there is a parasite inside her body. Soon, an infant xenomorph bursts from Navarro's chest, killing her immediately. Unfortunately, her foot touches the controls of the hauler, thereby causing the Corbelan to crash into Romulus's hangar, accelerating the station's inevitable collision course with LV-410's planetary rings. They now have 45 minutes before disaster strikes. To investigate what had happened to Navarro and the rest, Andy, Tyler, and Rain go to Romulus and cross a section of the station infested with facehuggers. Andy informs them that the creatures detect body temperature. He equalizes the temperature of the section to that of human bodies and asks them both not to spike their temperature by being scared to avoid detection. The infant xenomorph that took birth from Navarro's body rapidly gestates into its adult form, and seeing this, Bjorn injures it with a stun baton. But as soon as he does this, he is sprayed with its acidic blood, which kills him instantly. To save herself and her unborn baby, Kay escapes into Romulus, while being pursued by the creature. Rain and Tyler soon locate her and attempt to rescue her, but Andy suspects that the xenomorph is using her as bait, and hence refuses to open the door separating them. Helpless, they watch as the xenomorph takes Kay away with it. Post this, Rook instructs Andy to retrieve Z01, a potent fluid which he had harvested from the facehuggers that can rapidly rewrite and adapt with human DNA. Rook intends to use it to create genetically perfect humans capable of thriving in space. He orders that it be taken to Jackson's star, or he will not release the Corbelan from the Romulus hangar, as he now has full control of the station. Rain and Tyler arm themselves with rifles, but Andy warns them against injuring the xenomorph, as its acid blood can cause the hull to erode, and they need to avoid another explosive decompression. Soon, the group discovers a xenomorph nest, where they rescue a badly injured Kay. Tyler offers her a dose of Z01, but Rain resists, citing that she is unsure about the fluid. But soon, hordes of facehuggers and xenomorphs attack them, and Tyler sacrifices himself to protect Rain and Kay, while Andy gets incapacitated by one of them. Rain drags Kay to safety and returns to rescue Andy, restoring his original programming. Meanwhile, left alone, Kay decides to inject herself with a vial of Z01 fluid, which allows her to heal rapidly. With xenomorphs and facehuggers surrounding them, Rain disables the station's gravity, allowing her to shoot them without their blood touching the hull. They try to exit the ship and enter the hauler, but Rain is not able to make it in time. As the gravity reactivates, Rain is caught by the Navarro xenomorph. But just as it was about to kill her, Andy intervenes and kills it in the nick of time. Rain and Andy escape and aboard the Corbelan as Renaissance is destroyed by LV-410's rings. But to add to their trouble, as Rain and Andy prepare for their trip to Ivaga, Kay gives birth to a human xenomorph hybrid, mutated by the Z01. Rain tries to kill it, but is taken aback after seeing the face of a human child emerging from a pod-like sack. The acid of the creature soon melts the base of the hauler, and this brings it down to the cargo bed. She arms herself and tries to locate the newly born monster. But to our shock, the offspring grew at an exponential rate. It has grown and become a giant human alien abomination and attacks Andy and Kay. Kay's screams alerts Rain, and she tries to get back to her only remaining friend. The creature knocks Andy to the ground, and this disables him. It then proceeds to kill its mother, Kay, and her demise is witnessed by Rain, who is too late to save her friend. Thus, their battle begins, and she sprays cryo fuel on its body, which angers it even more. It chased her to the cargo bed, and this is when she gets the idea to dump the cargo in the outer space along with the monster. She pulls 3 levers, but before she could pull the final lever, the creature attacks her from behind. Understanding that it is at an advantage, it gives off a demonic smile. Soon, we see the acidic fluid from the creature's birth pod eating through the bottom of the ship's hull. This causes a sudden decompression, sucking both Rain and the creature out into space. Rain is attached to the cargo area by a safety cable. The monster, not ready to give up, attacks her, but the force of its attack causes the cable to pull the final lever. This detaches the entire cargo bay and sends it, along with the monster, crashing into the planet's rings, which are filled with debris. Finally, the monster is destroyed, with Rain narrowly escaping a horrifying death, thanks to the safety cable. In the final moments of the movie, we see her recording an audio log, and post this. She and Andy enter cryostasis, hoping to reach Ivaga 3 alive. If you like this recap, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Please also check out other videos in the channel.